All right, we are ready to roll here at the soccer stadium right in the heart of the campus of Trinity Episcopal School, about a quarter mile on the south banks of the James River, and we are blessed with yet another amazing autumn day. I feel like every time we've been broadcasting, the weather has just been incredible this fall, and I'm here. Cooper Mitchellek was with me by my side. I'm Rick Hamlin, and we are excited for boys soccer senior day. Cooper, what are some things you're looking for as the Titans get ready to host Veritas School?
I'm looking for another great game from the Titans. I believe two more until the state tournament. Two must-win games. I believe in the most recent poll, they're seventh. Two wins are going to guarantee the fact that they don't drop off that top 8, which host states. And I think we're going to see some really good play from the seniors today. Got a lot of fans in the bleachers. They're going to want to show out for their own, their senior day. You play high school for 4 years, and honestly, a lot of these guys, this might be the last time they get to play soccer in a professional or quasi-professional manner, and they're going to be looking to show out for the end of their final season.
Yeah, and I know what you mean by quasi-professional. I mean, obviously these guys aren't literally pros, but for myself as someone who played high school varsity soccer and then, went on and played some intramurals in college and rec league as an adult, it's just not the same, like, as putting on the uniform for your school, going out in the field with your classmates and friends, and just representing that shield. You'll continue hopefully to play for fun, but unless, any of these guys who are going to play at the college level, which I'm not sure, to my knowledge, none of them have plans to do that right now. So this is not the end of their season, still with a road game at Stab and then a state tournament bid to follow, but the last regular season home game, and you definitely feel a lot of emotions if you are a senior. And it looks like I believe that all the senior players are starting, as far as I can tell. That would include Quinn Slaybaugh up top, Grant Riddle out on the right, Caleb Muminovich over on the left as Veritas gets off to a good start here. JT Morris and Patrick Mealy in the back. So those guys all are seniors starting out here. And Connor Simonton in the center of the midfield. I think we have 7 seniors, so I'm counting 6 starting. Am I? Are we?
I think you're Patrick Mealy in the back, maybe.
Yeah,
Griffin.
no, yeah, Patrick. Oh, Griffin, right? Is my TESPN podcast partner. I wish Griffin would never graduate, but you're right. He is a senior. So all 7 seniors starting. We're almost a minute into the game. Neither team has done a whole lot so far, as Caleb Muminovich, that throwing came in a little high for him to control, but it gets to the feet of Colin Flood, and we know good things happen when it gets to Flood's feet, and he's going to win a corner kick right here just over a minute into the game. Titans have been very effective scoring off of corner kicks this season. For those who've been following this team, they had a 7-game unbeaten streak, finally snapped on Tuesday at Woodbury Forest in a tightly contested 4-3 loss against a very strong Woodbury team. But the Titans looking to jump on the board early here and get back to winning ways, just like they've been doing for most of October. That's a nice kick played in by Colin Flood, and goal right off the bat. We talked about their ability to score from corner kicks, and that was senior Caleb Muminovich with a header. Beautiful ball by Flood. Perfect header by Caleb Muminovich, and within less than 2 minutes, the Titans jump out ahead. Got to be their quickest score of the season so far. What a ball by Flood. He also earned that corner, so that was awesome to see. But, wow, Caleb Muminovich, Coop, he really knew what to do with that there. He was taller than everybody. That ball was floated in, and Caleb put it with pace right to the corner. Keeper got a hand to it, but not enough to keep it out of the net.
Yeah, and, I mean, obviously it helps when you're, 6'7"?
I don't think he's quite that tall, but it looks like it out there. I think he's 6'5", but
and it helps when you have probably 2 or 3 inches on every other guy on the field. But that's just, you still have to know how to keep it down.
Exactly.
And just put it with a little bit of power into the back of the goal.
Yeah, Muminovich did well there to win a 50-50 ball and play it over to Colin Flood to kind of return the favor. Flood and Caleb are teammates as well at the club level for FC Richmond. So those guys have a really good connection on the field, and you just saw it there on that corner. So for Veritas, who comes in here at 7 wins, 6 losses, and a tie, obviously not the start that they would have wanted, but Veritas, they have an opportunity to make the state tournament as well. Now they're Division II, so in the VISA, Virginia Independent School Association, there are 2 divisions. The Titans are Division I, so that's schools that are a little bit larger. Veritas Division II. It's all about enrollment and size. So Veritas is ranked, I believe, just outside the top 10 at the D2 level. I looked it up this morning, but I'm afraid the exact number escapes me. But they're somewhere around like 9, 10, 11. So they're likely to make it as well, but certainly looking to improve their seed and get into that D2 tournament. The Titans, as you mentioned, Coop, at 7th in D1. The top 8 get a home game, so a win here and a win if they're able to get it in their final regular season game at St. Anne's Belfield next week, you would have to think would keep the Titans in the top 8. And I was talking to someone earlier today. Trinity boys have not hosted a state tournament game on campus in about 19 years. Now, they did have a home game that they earned 2 years ago against Woodbury, but due to a lot of rain and field conditions, the game was played over at River City Sportsplex, where the field they played, I guess, on turf where the rain didn't matter. But so they have had a state home game, but not literally a real home game because it was not on campus, and that was a win, which in fact was mentioned by some of our seniors amongst their fondest memories in a Titan uniform, and we'll get to some of those as the game continues. Good pressure put on there by Flood, as number 27, Malcolm Murchie, played that ball way out up into the stands for a Titan throw.
Yeah, and so far it's been pretty good ball movement by the Titans, but I've seen they've had a little bit of trouble so far outside of that good run by Colin Flood of penetrating the back line of Veritas, and they've had some problems there earlier in the season, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Veritas has 8 defenders pretty much right now, so they got 2 guys up front, but it looks like a 4-4-2, but really those 4 midfielders are playing very defensive, even now as they look to counter, not bringing a ton of numbers forward. But they get it to the feet of Owen Godfrey, number 7. He's a very quick, skilled player, and they do continue to possess as Trevor Ruzic plays it. And now Veritas getting some sustained possession, but Connor Simonton intercepts. And now Veritas with only 3 players behind the ball as Muminovic, Flood, and Slayball look to push it forward. Comes out to the left of Flood. He's really good in these spaces. Goes to his inside foot. Nice turn by Quinn Slayball. The left-footed shot. He didn't quite get a full connection on it, and it is saved by the keeper for the Lions. I don't have him on the roster. He's wearing the number 75 today, so we'll have to try and get the name of the Veritas keeper. And Slayball looked to play it out wide to Caleb Muminovic, but overhit that one, and it'll be a throw for Veritas. So, Coop, we talked about these seniors, and we asked for some of their fondest memories here on Senior Day. Can we maybe pick one of them now and share with our audience what those might be as Patrick Mealy plays it to fellow senior Griffin Wright?
Sure. So for a lot of these players, it's the memories that they had from their freshman and sophomore year. Obviously, for these guys last year, no season happened, especially no state playoff. And we're seeing a lot, for example, from Quinn Slayball, who is our striker, wears number 10.
There he is right there on the
And
ball,
is
just
on
right
the
on
ball
cue.
right here.
And he's got it on his right foot. And he blasts it into the corner of the net as an assist from Caleb Muminovic. Wow, right on cue, Cooper, just as you were talking about Quinn Slayball. He got the ball at the top of the box, was able to get it onto his right foot, go past the defender, and an absolutely scorching shot into the right corner. So you were going to say about Quinn.
I was going to say, his favorite memory is making it to semifinals with semifinals of State's freshman year. But so the way he's been playing this game, Who knows?
Yeah, his best memories may be to come if he continues to play at the level that we've seen. Really, every home game that we've broadcast, Quinn has had such a huge impact, either scoring goals, assisting goals, drawing penalty kicks. Just a really phenomenal senior year for Quinn. And I think he and Colin Flood in particular play so well together in the attack, but also now with Caleb Muminovic recently really coming on strong. And already in this first 8 minutes, Caleb Muminovic got a goal and then the assist there to Slaybaugh. And now it's Flood's turn. He's only a junior on this senior day. Comes out to Caleb on the left. That's a good-looking cross to Slaybaugh, who gets ahead to it, but wasn't able to direct it on goal. The ball just a little bit behind him, but a good look by Caleb Muminovic. And these front 3 or 4 guys, as the Titans appear to be in a 4-2-3-1 formation, and Slaybaugh again pressuring the back line, forces a turnover from David Ludovico, and now Titans go back to Davis Geis, who looks to go big on the switch to Caleb Muminovic, but well defended there. Malcolm Murchie did a nice job of shielding Caleb off the ball.
Yeah. And it looks like so far this game, Coach Phillips has switched up Colin into a more traditional number 10, giving a lot of room to roam in the midfield.
Yeah. Oh.
And usually good things happen when you give Colin Flood room and time with the ball.
Yeah, definitely. We talked at our last broadcast last week against Christchurch, I guess that was last Thursday, about how Colin Flood really tends to have a lot of freedom in this alignment. He plays as that classic number 10, like you said, right behind Quinn Slaybaugh, but then sometimes Colin will drift out to the left or the right. Sometimes he even drifts kind of into a deep line role, anything really to get the ball on his feet and allow him the chance to have some vision of the field and create either for himself or for his teammates.
Yeah, and he's developed so much since freshman year. He's always been amazing at scoring goals, however, in these past 2 years, and specifically this past year, his vision and his eye for his teammates and assisting goals has improved so much, and that's really made him into an even better player.
Yeah, I completely agree. Got a chance to actually, as Connor Simonton does well, to win that ball, the senior Simonton. And yeah, I was gonna say I got a chance to coach against Colin Flood when he was an 8th grader at St. Michael's, and the St. Michael's team played our Trinity JV team that I was coaching at the time with several of these guys. Grant Riddle, our producer Jeffrey Bell was out there in that team. Connor Simonton was on that team. Griffin Wright was on that team. JT Morris was on that team. So at least 4 or 5 of the Titan starters played that day. But Colin Flood, I think, scored 3 goals for St. Michael's, and it was a 5-4 game. It was almost exactly 3 years ago to this very week. But what I was going to say is, now granted, he was playing with, maybe not as strong a teammates, but it was really all about goal scoring at that time. But Colin is so, added to his game, such an unselfishness, looking for his teammates, has so many assists this year in addition to many, many goals. And those corner kicks have just been such a weapon as well. Connor Simonton might have gotten away with a little bit of the handball there, inadvertent, and it does fall. And what a shot.
Oh.
Holy cow. Trevor Ruzic seemingly out of nothing. That ball came to him some 35 yards out, left-footed, absolutely crushed by Trevor Ruzic, the senior for Veritas. And he's hoping to ruin the Titan senior day. That just seemed to come out of nothing, didn't it, Coop? What a hit by Ruzic.
Oh, it was, I think, knuckleball there. Had a lot of movement on it. Hard for goalkeeper Joe Turkley.
Yeah, I think Turkley was a little bit off his line, but, I mean, you wouldn't have expected a shot from that far out, and he just really got a hold of it, did Trevor Ruzic. He is, as I mentioned, a senior on this Veritas team, and a player that I know has been part of this program for quite a few years. Also, his sister was an excellent player on the Veritas girls team for many years, an all-league player. Shay Ruzic, I believe, was her name. And that's a long ball by Veritas. So 2-1 already more goals than we've seen in the last couple of home games here already in the first 12 minutes or so. And Liam Smith, one of the juniors, plays it to fellow junior Colin Flood. And good job by Veritas defending.
We'll really see. I mean,
Grant Riddle puts a lot of pressure on and earns a Titan throw. Nice aggressiveness by Riddle there.
What I was saying, even though it is 2-1, I feel like Veritas hasn't had many chances. Obviously, wonder goals like that are always welcome to see, but if you're the Veritas coach, you have to be at least a little bit concerned about how you haven't really been moving the ball much into the Titans.
Yeah, one thing I noticed after the second goal that Trinity scored, I think that Veritas actually had started with 5 in the back, and once they went down 2-0, I saw him motion to his players to switch to 4. So I think add another midfielder. I think they were in a 5-3-2, and I think he switched it to a 4-4-2. So maybe just saying at this point, down 2 goals, to be a little more offensive-minded, and you see that pay dividends. And then a nice tackle there by Rusic as Connor Simonton looked to go forward, but Quinn Slayball wins it back. Really strong tackle by Quinn, and now he's brought down, but play continues. Grant Riddle also goes to ground, and this time the whistle does blow. That's going to be a nice angle. Be interested to see. I'd like to see Flood play this in. Kind of like how he plays those corner kicks and just float a ball in, look for Caleb Muminovich's head. Also, JT Morris coming forward from his center back position. I'd actually like to see Davis Geis get in on this one as well, but Davis is going to hang back with Veritas leaving 2 guys forward. Titans need to leave 3 guys back. That ball's played in towards Connor Simonton, but well handled by the Veritas defense. Some Titans were hoping for a handball there, but no whistle blows, and ultimately good pressure by Jack Aronson, which forced Liam Smith to play that one out for a Lions throw-in.
Yeah, and so far this game, Trinity really has had, I'd say, the lion's share of possession.
Yeah.
But Benedictine, they're still keeping up that high press, and I'm really interested to see how this play develops. I've seen a lot of times, especially from our broadcast, Trinity will start with a lot of possession.
Yeah, great chance for a counter here. Caleb Minovich is going to take it on himself, and he's going to put it wide.
Great run until the shot just didn't get
it. It was a great run, and Colin Flood made an overlapping run on the left that for a minute there I thought Caleb maybe would play Colin in, but drew a defender, which opened things up for Caleb. And then with he went into 5th gear there and actually did everything perfectly except just didn't get a full connection on the shot, unfortunately. But another opportunity. I mean, I do think the Titans are playing well here 15 minutes in on senior day, other than that 35-yard blast by Trevor Rusic that I think just no one could have anticipated that was going to be shot from where he was standing. But still, you leave a good player with that much space, and the captain for Veritas took advantage.
We'll see. They've already made one mistake from passing it around the back, and there might be the second.
Yeah, and more good pressure from the Titans front line to create that turnover. It's a 4v4 situation. Oh, that's a clever-looking ball, but Quinn and Colin not quite on the same page there, and now Veritas looks to counter. Ball played up the wing by Timothy Park, and now it's on the foot of number 7 as he flicks it back. Owen Godfrey back to Park, and now Veritas able to connect another pass, but a really nice job there by Caleb Muminovic. Quinn Slayball is in an excellent spot. Caleb going to choose again to keep it on his foot. No, that's not going to get there. I don't think he saw that defender as he looked for Colin Flood.
Would have been a brilliant ball if their defender wasn't.
Yeah, and I really think that Caleb couldn't see him because of the other Veritas player in the way. Wow, what an effort there.
Oh, looked like that might have been.
Liam Smith gets bodied into the bench. I think he may have run into, I think it might be Ben Mills over there. Ben looks actually a little bit shaken up as I think Liam's maybe elbow caught Ben in the face. That's not what you want when you're on the bench.
Yeah.
Good ball by Flood to Caleb Muminovic. Touch was a little heavy. Good defending there from Jacob Lewis, but Simonton gets it to Flood. His touch a little heavy as well, as it's rare to see both Caleb Maminovich and Colin Flood's first touch let them down a little bit there, but the Titans able to regain control.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Liam Smith was shooting from out in Trevor Ruzich territory there, but not the same result as Liam blasted that over the goal. And you mentioned this crowd really is a good turnout here today on Senior Day on this, again, picturesque autumn afternoon. Got the whole JV soccer team here. Got a lot of parents, what appear to be some grandparents. Just a overall good turnout. Really nice to see.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, great ball by Liam Smith. Colin Flood plays it back to Simonton. And now the Titans look to sustain some possession, but JT Morris goes long with it. And Quinn Slabaugh brings it down nicely to Caleb Maminovich. Clips it back up to Quinn as he's now in the area. He gets brought down.
Yeah, that might have been a little.
Yeah, I think he was
going for the penalty
he
there.
Was.
He
was looking for it, but I do think. I mean, I have no problem that it wasn't called. It certainly wasn't a stonewall penalty, but I think. I mean, Quinn stopped short, shielded the ball, and Malcolm Murchie went through his back. I mean, I've seen it called for less, but I have no problem with it. But I thought that Murchie was a little overly aggressive in that position. But
I agree, but I also think there was maybe a little bit of overselling there from Quinn. I mean,
it's true.
He did. You could see the semantics and as he fell.
Nice ball there from JT Morris to the feet of Colin Flood as he troubles the defender, gets in a nice strike, but right at the keeper. And
you get the feeling that Coach Phillips might have said, let's test the keeper early from this, especially after those 2 goals went in. You just have to think after you already put in 2, why not just pepper him a little bit, maybe another one goes in.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned it, but these teams did play several weeks ago, and Trinity was able to prevail 3-0. We weren't at that game, but you make a good point that the Titans will have seen this Veritas team, seen the keeper, and known, maybe that in that game at least he may have been vulnerable to some of those longer shots. But the 2 goals today, I don't think he could have done much about. He did get a hand on the first goal off the head of Caleb Maminovich, but that ball came with so much pace. And then Quinn Slabaugh put that second goal into the bottom corner. So not a whole lot that he could do, the Veritas keeper. We apologize, but don't have him on. Well, I mean, he may be on the roster, but some of the guys we don't have numbers for, and he's wearing number 75. Ooh. And there's no 75.
Smith missed the challenge there, and
he got called for a foul, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed the ball.
Well,
I believe he got the bottom of his foot. Ref called advantage, and then Davis Geist, in typical fashion, wins the ball and
puts it in the woods.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to finding that ball on my weekend run through the trails, unless cross country gets to it first. But
it's always fun seeing the managers just run through the woods, and we're just like, soccer ball, and they're like, yep.
Ooh, that ball played in low, but Joe Turkley handled it well. That was a dangerous spot, but the Titans kept a good line, and Joe Turkley able to handle that, and now puts out that left-footed punt that takes a bit of a tough hop, but number 4, Trevor Ruzich, the goal scorer for Veritas, able to win the ball. Oh, what a tackle by Griffin Wright. Now Griffin going back and forth, showing the moves. Slabaugh, 1 touch to Flood. This is some really pretty soccer. 1 touch back to Slabaugh. And now, that's a lovely looking cross to Caleb Maminovich. He's not going to score with his head from 18 yards out, though.
Yeah. That's one where you just got to take the touch and maybe put on a shot. But
yeah.
I almost wonder if he was trying to maybe play it in to call him Flood, because that looked, it wasn't particularly on goal either, so.
No, he may have gotten, as we say, caught between 2 minds there of, do I go for goal, do I go for the pass, and ultimately kind of did neither. But now Veritas quickly back into the attack. Oh, what a move.
Another shot.
Owen Godfrey.
And
yeah. Why wouldn't you if you're Ruzich? You already scored from even further than that, so it's worth a shout to put that one toward the goal. But fortunately for the Titans, that one sailed way over, and we are 22 minutes in. We've seen some games where we played 45-minute halves, some others 40, so I'm not sure which today will be. But either way, we're at least halfway through this first half as the Titans lead 2-1. That's a really good-looking ball to the back post. Joe Turkley did well to come off his line as Veritas has, after going down 2 in the first 8 minutes, they played much better. And it looked like a few minutes into this game that it could be a Titan runaway victory. But to Veritas's credit, they've continued to battle. As I mentioned, their coach, Sterling Sweeney, seemed to make a bit of a adjustment with their formation, and that seems to have helped. And I've had the opportunity to coach against Coach Sweeney several times, as he's also the Veritas girls coach, and he does a really nice job. I know with their girls team, they always play so hard, even as a school that's a little bit smaller, a little bit less students population to draw from compared to some of the prep league teams that we're used to playing against. Veritas always competitive, and I really like Coach Sweeney's approach where they defend well, they let their creative players kind of do their thing, and they seem to just really support each other and play hard. So got a lot of respect for the Veritas program, and you see them battling today. Again, a lot of schools, a lot of teams go down too early, but they've improved their play, although here's another opportunity as Caleb Uminovich was able to get a shot on frame, but another good save.
And that's something I really noticed with the Trinity's boys soccer in all 3 of the games we've watched. We've seen the Titans come out really hard early, press really aggressively, and the other team just kind of say, we'll let you have possession, and then as the half moves on, they creep more closer and closer to that Titans box.
Yeah, I agree. I think this team, I'll say what I'm going to say in a second, but let's see what happens here as number 14, Jack Aronson, plays a nice ball. That's a good shot and a real attempt. I mean, that's a real warning sign as Caleb Jordan was able to get a right-footed blast off from just outside the box that Joe Turkley did save. But to your point, Veritas just continues to come further into this game as a threatening force. That long ball over the top could be promising as Quinn Slayball, nicely handled there as number 11, the defender, David Ludovico, headed it back to his keeper and came in hot, but good job by the keeper to handle that one. But the Titans look to pressure again. Flood from
that was a good shot.
Yeah, about 28, 30 yards out, put it on frame. And it's definitely been a lot of action as the keeper makes a left-handed throw out to Trevor Ruzic. He turns it over.
Neither side, I don't think either side has made a sub so far, but it looks like Charlie Kemp and 2 Veritas players are warming up right now. Charlie Kemp usually starts in the midfield. However, I'm assuming Coach Phillips for senior day wanted to let all of the seniors start.
Yeah, I believe that's exactly right. And another one comes through the box, but that'll go up for a goal kick, and we may get a chance now to see Kemp. He is coming in. We also see Jack Fannin and Hayes Shepard, who are 2 guys who started a lot of games, are at least getting loose over on the Titan bench. But for now, Kemp comes in for the senior Connor Simonton. Coop, if you get a chance, can you tell us some of Connor's highlights from his career?
Sure.
Then while you're doing that, I wanted to finish my thought from before about, to your point, that the Titans seem to come out really strong every game with a lot of intensity, but maybe aren't always able to fully sustain it. I think it's because the team has great leadership, and I think they get themselves really fired up coming out as Slayball finds Flood. This is really an opportunity. He went to the left foot. I think he was frustrated that maybe he got kicked in the back of the heels there, but ultimately comes to nothing. So my point was just, I think they come out fired up. They get off to a great start, and that's what you want. But at the same time, are you going to be able to sustain full maximum energy for 90 minutes? That's a big ask. So, yeah, talk to us about Connor. What's some things that
Connor,
he reflected
he's been
on?
on varsity now for his 2nd year. This is his 2nd year. His favorite memory was beating Norfolk Academy. I believe that was the first one in a while for this Titans soccer program against them.
Good ball by Davis, guys.
And for college, he says he wants to study sustainable technology or physical therapy. So
that's great. Yeah, Connor has been a great servant to this program. Really enjoyed I really enjoyed having him on the JV team when I was coaching them. Plays really hard. He's good in the air. He sometimes can blast some shots that are just amazing. And it's kind of crazy to me. I mean, I guess this is the thing for us as teachers, as coaches, as educators, sometimes how fast it goes. I remember Connor, seems like just yesterday he was a freshman, and here he is on his senior day. As Liam Smith finds Colin Flood, who did a nice job using his body, and he's going to beat the defender there. Oh, a great reverse pass and a really nice job just at the last second by Malcolm Murchie to step in the way. It looked like Caleb Muminovic would have been
Might
in
have been
there.
offsides, though.
It was
Couldn't
tight.
tell. Yeah,
Yeah, it
was
was.
going to be a tight call.
It was going to be a tight call, for sure. But I love those reverse passes. We've seen Colin Flood. In fact, at one recent game, he played a ball similar to that to Caleb Muminovic that led to a penalty kick. I think that was may have been the Benedictine game, but where he Colin's coming down the middle with all the momentum carrying him to his right, and then he goes back to his left. And actually, it was the John Paul the Great game. I believe it was the 5-3. You maybe weren't with me on that one.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, I think CC Molesky was my broadcast partner for that. And speaking of which, speaking of broadcasting and partners, I'm going to be leaving at halftime, so
Oh, goes for a little chip there.
I think
But
it's going to be
yeah.
Cooper Mishlik here by yourself
Should be
and
fun.
on the mic,
Should be
right?
fun.
Of course, we'll obviously have our great production team with Colin Edsel, Jeffrey Bell, Ben Schneider here chipping in.
Yeah. And going back to the point we made earlier about the fired up at the start of the half, I was starting to think that might end up hurting them in states. Because while they do come out, and usually for the first 10, 12 minutes, they look absolutely impeccable. By the 30-minute mark or so around each half, they start to get a little sloppy. Ooh.
Yeah, that was not a great touch there by Liam Smith as it ricochets out for believe a corner kick. But now I will say, to your point, that John Paul game I just referenced was kind of the opposite. The Titans got down 2-0 in the first 20 minutes. Came out, they were visibly flat. That was right after a very emotional, hotly contested game at St. Christopher's just less than 48 hours earlier, and they came out super flat, got down 2-0, but then lifted their play and ultimately scored 5 consecutive goals. So, games take different patterns. They have ultimately been kind of a second-half team. Some of their wins, like Benedictine, which was 0-0 until 23 minutes left, and the Titans scored 4 late goals. Also, the Covenant was 0-0, and the Titans got a second-half goal. So there's been a bit of a pattern of both, but there's no question they have not sustained. The way they played the first 10 minutes today they've not kept that up. But we're still
And you have to wonder,
first
is that
half.
more Titans getting a little bit slower,
or
Veritas? Is it Veritas?
Yep.
Because while it seems like both, I mean, at the state tournament, I'm sure we're going to find out very quickly which one it is, because Titans are going to be playing against the teams where so far this season have been their only trouble.
Yeah.
And they're going to have 2, 3, I don't know, I believe it's 3 games from where they would be. And if they, with hopes of making the final, it would be 3 games against probably
very good
3 of their hardest opponents,
No question about that. As this left-footed cross comes, that's a good ball.
Oh, a little bit of goalkeeper interference there.
Yeah. Turkley ultimately comes down with it. He did not initially catch it. Looked like there may have been a little contact. You frequently see goalkeepers very well protected in those circumstances, but referee did let play go on, and ultimately Turkley comes up with it.
Yeah.
That's a nice header there by number 17, Dawson Reeves, as he plays it back to his left back, Jacob Lewis. And Lewis turns it over, but Smith turns it back over. Nice job there by J.T. Morris. Griffin Wright has it on his feet, and he's looking to play it ahead, but he turns it over. An uncharacteristic turnover by Griffin. And this game has just devolved a little bit, and I think that plays into Veritas' hands. I mean, as it just pinballs back and forth, that's not the game the Titans want to play.
I bet you wished more. These Titans wish more than ever right now that they had that 40-yard wonder goal back right now. Because if you're sitting up here 2-0, it's a lot more comfortable. Because at 2-1, you essentially feel like you're a goal away from a tie game, and you feel like you are very vulnerable.
Yeah, another sub now coming in for the Titans is Jack Fannin checks in for the first time, replacing Grant Riddle. And I think you make a very good point there, Cooper. I think the goal just lifted Veritas. I mean, and I always feel like when the score's 2-0, the next goal is so crucial because 3 just about puts it out of reach. I mean, there are a few examples of teams coming back from 3 goals down in history. Most famously, the
Liverpool.
2005 Champions League final, Liverpool against AC Milan. But the reason that's famous is because it happens so rarely. So you get to 3, you're generally home and dry. Whereas if the third in a 2-0 game, if the third goal is scored by the trailing team, now it's 2-1. Well, now it's game on, and that's exactly what we've seen in this first half today. That's a good-looking ball by Caleb Muminovic that finds his way through to Colin Flood.
Good save.
Yeah, he put a hard, low-driven ball. I believe he was looking for Quinn Slayball at the back post, but well cut out there by number 75, the Veritas keeper.
Going back to
He's been good.
Griffin, who I believe – oh, sorry, was that Grant? My bad. Going back to Grant.
Yeah.
He says his favorite memory on the team was knocking out Woodbury Forest in the state tournament his sophomore year.
Oh, what a game that was. That was the game I mentioned a little earlier that technically was a Titan home game, but ultimately was played at a neutral site over at the River City Sportsplex, and it was the intensity level from both teams. That was a special game, but that's what you want in a state tournament. And no matter what, the Titans are all but guaranteed to make the state tournament this year. It's just, I think, for us here at TESPN and really all fans of Titan soccer, the hope is that it's right here on this beautiful field, the so-called upper field. Cooper, when you win the lottery and give millions of dollars, it's going to be Michalek Field.
And people will still mispronounce it.
Did I just mispronounce it?
No, you actually said it correctly, unlike the vast majority of my teachers.
That's good. I did have the advantage of having your brother as my advisee for a few years there.
Going back to Grant, he says he also hopes to play. He also hopes to go to college at James Madison University or Longwood.
Yeah, so he'll be sticking around in state, it looks like. And his little brother, Pierce, on our JV team is a 9th grader. Grant, another one of those guys who I really enjoyed coaching. He's so fast. He's got great moves with the ball. He really is a natural right wing player. Like, he just is a fish in water out there on the right. And now Grant getting a little bit of a rest as Jack Fannin comes into that position. And it comes to Jack Fannin. That ball really thought from here may have struck the arm. But to be fair, I didn't see any Titans actually asking for the call. So as good pressure there put on by Colin Flood and Quinn Slayball is going to create a turnover and a Trinity throw in as we are now nearly 36 minutes into.
Yeah, and apart from those first 10 minutes, the Veritas defense, especially their 2 center backs, have done an incredible job of dealing with Colin Flood and Quinn Slayball.
They have, and we mentioned that looked like they started it with 5 in the back, got down 2 and switched to 4, which you would think might take away from your defense, but I actually think probably that's how they usually play. They may have tried something, knowing that they lost 3-0 the first time, tried something a little more defensive, but they're not used to it coming out. And, I mean, if anything, on the Quinn Slayball goal, it was almost like the defenders got in each other's way and almost screened each other. So now they go back to their more natural 4-4-2, and they've played much better. I do think sometimes, and I've been guilty of this myself, like sometimes coaches overthink it and try and game plan for a specific game that maybe they didn't need to do that.
And you see it all the time, especially in the professionals. Coaches think, we're playing, a great attacking team here. Let me put 5 in the back. In the end, a lot of times you're doing more harm than good. Because one of the best ways, and we both know this, to stop attacking chances is to create your own.
Yeah, exactly. Jack Fannin.
Maybe trying do a little bit too much there.
Yeah, that was a good quick counter, but again comes to nothing as that final third has kind of eluded. The final third on offense has kind of eluded the Titans since their second goal.
Yeah, we have about either 3 or 8 minutes left in this half. I have absolutely no idea. My guess, maybe it'll be 40 minutes
That would be my guess. It is a
because
non-league
Division
game.
2 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, non-league game, Division two opponent. I am guessing it's 40-minute halves as well, but we've seen both this year. You gotta love a sport where there's different lengths of game time depending on the opponent. You know, it is funny. Soccer, like people who aren't soccer people, also struggle to sometimes understand. Like the field's not always the same size. Like, you know, like most sports, you're dealing with the exact same size field in all circumstances. But soccer, it's a range.
Mm-hmm.
Can be anywhere from 100 yards to 120 yards long. I believe this field, I think, is 114 yards long. And then it can be anywhere from 55 to 75 yards wide. I think we're at about, 66 yards wide, something like that. But,
It's
yeah.
similar. I mean, not quite as varied, obviously, as baseball, but
Yeah.
it gives you a similar field where every stadium and every pitch, as the Europeans will want me to call it,
Mm-hmm.
feels completely different and gives a lot of teams their sense of identity. And it also means if you're practicing on that field every day, you're going to get used to it. And while other teams might say, why is this so wide, you're going to be able to, use the space.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this field is probably a little on the narrow side compared to a lot as the Veritas Lions now are going to have a corner kick.
And we'll
But
see if they try to.
I was just going to say the playing surface itself on this field is absolutely incredible, and what a blessing that this has been to move over here. As JT Morris gets or rather Davis Geis, I should say. Sometimes it's hard to tell those two apart in the box, but I think that was Davis who headed that ball out, but it will result in another corner kick.
I would honestly expect them to maybe try to crowd Joe Cherkley. While he is a great keeper, he hasn't shown, especially this game, his ability to go up and get the ball like someone, I'd say probably Mitchell Kugelman, for example, might have a better taste for.
Well, it's going to be a third corner as Davis Geis headed it again, and then Charlie Kemp tried to clear it out, but he miscued it. And playing with fire a little bit here, giving up all these corners. Jack Fannin heads that one on, and that would be for a throw-in. That was well handled by Fannin. But for me, I don't like having to defend corner kick after corner kick.
Sooner or later, you're always gonna mess up.
Yeah, I know the Titans conceded a corner kick goal at St. Christopher's in that 3-3 draw. So they have been at least a little bit vulnerable from set pieces.
There's an unfortunate clearance there for Patrick Mealy. Probably, I believe he was trying to play Caleb in down the wing, but just ended up straight back at the Veritas defenders.
Nice header on there by Colin Flood to Jack Fannin. Oh, that's a good-looking ball out to Caleb Muminovic as the Titans attack. Oh, well struck, but the defender did well to get in the way, although great tackle by Caleb.
Oh.
And then again, he's found the defender's backs a couple times here. And Veritas looks to counter. They go long, but JT Morris read it well. Nice left-footed pass by JT. As we have three seniors connecting there. JT Morris to Griffin Wright to Caleb Muminovic. Caleb looked to pull that ball back, but it got away from him. And now Liam Smith gets a good tackle in. Good physical play here by both teams. Physical but clean. And that wasn't
just
clean.
As you said that.
Yeah, I kind of felt like a foul was coming, so I wanted to say clean while it still was. Dawson Reeves fouled him, but Colin Flood gets it back onto his left foot, and that's going to be a corner kick. And I think we're into stoppage time as the official scoreboard has stopped at 40, so I assume that our guess of a 40-minute half was the right one. I wouldn't think there would be a ton of stoppage time. I mean, the 3 goals, but there haven't been many substitutions, and thankfully there haven't been any injuries, and we pray that continues. But Titans scored their first goal of the game on a corner kick, and I believe I don't think they've had another corner since then, have they, Coop?
I think they might have had one, but
well, they had the free kick from out on the right, but I
don't
think they've had a second corner. So that one was
plays
played
that
in
one
low.
That's one of the ones where I'm. Yeah, right. Yeah, ref checks his watch. Yep.
Referee checks his watch and does blow the whistle. So that is the end of the first half. And our halftime score, Trinity Episcopal 2, Veritas School 1. I got to say, after 8 minutes and 2 Titan goals, it's had the feel of a game that could be a lopsided Senior Day Titan victory, but huge credit to Veritas. They battled back. They got an incredible goal from Trevor Ruzic from 35, 40 yards out as he caught Turkley a little bit off his line. And really since then, it's been a pretty even battle. So I think Coach Phillips and Coach Norville and their staffs are going to want to get these guys together and just, try and get back to where they were playing earlier in the game. And Cooper, before I head off here, as our girls soccer team is going to be taking a little field trip here in a few minutes as we head up to Charlottesville to see the number 2 ranked UVA women's team. I see a couple of the girls players running to the bus, not realizing that they are not going anywhere until I'm there as the bus driver. But what I was going to say, Coop, before I go, let's just talk a little bit about Coop, let's talk a little bit about what adjustments you think the Titans need to make to get back to playing how they were at the start of this game.
Yeah, I think honestly what they need is maybe to drop their wingers a little bit back some, because I feel like one of the main problems, Colin Flood has been really exposed in the middle, and they've had a lot of problems they've had obviously some great balls down to Caleb Muminovic, but he's been isolated, and they either need to bring the fullbacks up or drop the wingers back some, so there can be a little bit more link-up play between those two.
Yeah.
And I think if they do that, they'll have a lot more chances, especially from crosses, which they've already scored one from.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think that another thing I might like to see is those 2 holding midfielders, which for most of the half were Connor Simonton and Griffin Wright, and then the latter part, Charlie Kemp came on for Connor. I'd like to see them get forward a little bit more, not necessarily both of them, but one or the other, maybe taking turns, because I think right now it feels like every time that the Titans come forward, they're bringing the 4 players, Flood, Riddle, Muminovic, and Slaybaugh, or then late in the half it was Fannin as he subbed in for Riddle. But you don't really see that 5th or 6th guy in the attack, and so there's just a numbers disadvantage. Now, you could make the case with a lead, you want to protect the lead, you don't maybe want to take that risk, but I also think sometimes your best defense can be a good offense, and getting that 3rd goal would be massive. And so we know that Griffin Wright with the ball at his feet can take defenders on. We know that Connor Simonton has the ability to shoot the ball from distance. We know that Charlie Kemp is one of the most creative players on the team when he has the ball at his feet. And Charlie hasn't really been able to get into a rhythm yet as he subbed in fairly late in that first half on the Senior Day. But that's an adjustment I'd like to see, is just giving a little bit more license to those holding midfielders to come forward, get more into the attack, and just give one more outlet for the 4 players who have predominantly been the attacking third. And then, defensively, haven't been too troubled. Most of Veritas' shots have come from distance. Joe Turkley's made a couple saves, but I think, overall the defense with Liam Smith on the right, Patrick Mealy on the left, and the duo center back of J.T. Morris and Davis Geis, they pretty much held it down. It wasn't their area of the field even that the goal came from. All right, so second half for your broadcast here, it's going to be Cooper flying solo on the mic, yeah?
Yeah.
And
looking forward to it. Might bring some guests in if we keep as many players around here.
Yeah, the crowd has grown
Huge.
even more from earlier when I said we had a big crowd, and it just has gotten even bigger. So that's really exciting. I'm actually hate to have to leave, but also excited to go watch some more soccer and at a really high level. So, Cooper, you'll take it home. I am desperately hoping that the Titans are able to get a home state game so that we'll have at least one more opportunity to broadcast Trinity Boys Soccer this fall, which has been an absolute pleasure to bring you on ESPN. And if they hang on today, win it next week at Stab, I'm all but assured that we will get that well-deserved home game and long-awaited home game, and can't wait for that. So I will see you next time. And Cooper, have a great second half. You're going to take a short break here?
Yeah, I think we should be back in probably 2 or 3 minutes.
All right, so take a 2 or 3 minute break. Coop, enjoy the second half. I'll be looking forward to probably maybe tuning in on my phone as I drive up to Charlottesville and just listen. I obviously won't be looking at my phone while I'm driving the bus, but I'll be looking forward to listening to the broadcast and hoping that the Titans bring home a victory. But also full credit to Veritas. They have really battled in this first half, a game that looked like it could get away from them. It's going to be a fun second half. All right, see ya.
All right. Hello and welcome back to this beautiful day. We are here at the Trinity Soccer Stadium. Does not have a name yet. The Titans are currently up 2-1 with goals by Caleb Umenovich and Quinn Slayball. And Veritas scored an absolute wonder goal, and that was by Trevor Rusich. It was a good first half for the Titans. However, I feel it lacked a little bit of intensity in the second half, and we're going to see how they take off from here. Yeah. If I'm personal opinion, my MVPs of the game so far probably would have to be Colin Flood, who delivered the absolutely beautiful corner kick, which set up the Caleb Luminovich goal. And then also, I would say Davis Geis, who's been an absolute rock in the defense so far. Titans will get the ball to start off the second half, and it's looking like it'll be Quinn Slayball taking the kick. It looks, yeah, they have kept the same formation and people on the field that they started the game with, for which it is senior night. So I believe it is 7 seniors are on the field, those being JT Morris, Patrick Mealy, Connor Symington, Griffin Wright, Caleb Umenovich, and, 2 more, sorry, Grant Riddle and Quinn Slayball. A foul is called there on Quinn. Looks like he caught the Veritas player as he was at the end of his kick, and it will be a free kick for Veritas in their own end. Now, I'm really looking forward to see how Veritas handles it, because they were starting to get much more pressure at the end of the first half. And the real question is, do you continue that, or do you expect some high press from the Titans and you drop back some? As Griffin Wright clears it there, and Colin Flood has the ball at his feet, always a dangerous sight for defenders. Gets taken off by Timothy Park. As Veritas plays it back here, it seems they're trying to get more long balls over the top, and we will really see if that works. I personally don't expect it to, as the fullbacks, Liam Smith and Patrick Mealy, are really effective for the Titans, as Liam is on the ball here. Thrown for Veritas. As they play it up to, sorry, he's not on my roster. Another throw in for Veritas by Jacob Lewis. It's Griffin Wright gets it up there to Quinn, who tries to do a flick, doesn't go. Passes it over in the middle, Connor Symington. Dribbles with it, then plays it back to JT Morris. Connor Symington again. Has a little challenge. Then Quinn ends up getting, just barely doesn't get it. As Veritas now has possession in the midfield. Now Grant Riddle to Connor Symington, who plays the ball over the top. It's looking like Quinn might get there. No. Expertly defended by Jacob Lewis, and plays it out for a Titans throw-in near midfield. Liam Smith is going to take it here. Looks for a long throw to Colin Flood. Gets sent back to JT Morris. Caleb Menovich puts on the shot there, but it gets deflected by the Veritas back line as Colin Flood puts it out to Connor Symington plays the ball out to Colin Flood. Now, Titans have had possession for the past probably 2 or 3 minutes here. They have looked. As Grant Riddle drops his man there. Gets by Jacob Lewis. Caleb had a goal there. And there's another goal line clearance by Veritas. Veritas got away with one there. I thought it was going to be a sure goal by Caleb Umenovich. He just misses it. And as it went out to Colin Flood, put on a shot, goal line clearance by Veritas. And they've gotten out of a jam there. As I said, it's 2-1, and you can ask anyone who plays soccer, and they'll tell you that is the same thing as a tie game because a goal can happen at any moment, as was shown by Taylor Ruzic, who scored an absolute wonder goal from what must have been 40 yards out. A knuckler that just got past the goalkeeper for the Titans, Joe Turkley. And we are wondering, do the Titans get another one as Quinn Slayball plays a beautiful ball across the length of the goal line, intended for Grant Riddle, how it just doesn't connect and will be a Titans corner. Looks like they're going to have Colin Flood take it. He's already sent one, got an assist for Caleb Minovich. However, on his second quarter, he played a low ball instead of more of a lofted pass. All right. Colin sets it up here. Here's the Titans are staying out of the box this time, so I'm wondering they must be looking for a run somewhere. Appears that run's going to come from Connor Symington. Oh, I thought he had it. Gets his head on it, but just can't put enough on it to put it goal side. Is Davis Geist. Oh, never mind. It appears David Luvico clears that for a Titans throw-in. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's what I thought. Davis Geist boots it out for a Veritas goal kick. Referee, center ref disagreeing with this side. AR there. And as David Ludvico sets up for the goal kick here, he showed in the first half he does have a massive leg. However, the real question is, can he accurately put it on one of his players, or does he just get swallowed up by that Titans midfield? The ball goes up there. Grant Riddle covers and gets the ball back and starts driving down the sideline. Slide tackle there, clean. Don't have his number, so I'm very sorry if you're watching this back. And Liam Smith with the throw in here. We'll see where he sends us. He has an arm, which usually isn't that much of a help in soccer, but in this case it is. And I could see him trying to get the ball to Quinn Slayball here, who we know can do a lot both with his head and his feet. Known for his flicks and his touches that just always seem to find a teammate, as he, on cue, misses Griffin right there. Seems I jinxed him. But this ball has been stuck to Veritas' box. And that was the first time the ball's really crossed in. His speedster, Owen Godfrey, gets it and tries to put one goal side. Instead, he puts it 50 feet over and 20 feet to the right as that ball sails into the back net. JT Morris with the kick here. He has an absolute monster of a leg, but he often suffers from the same problem I was talking about earlier, which is accurately finding his teammates. Whereas that time, looks like a bit of a call there on the Titans. Didn't see much, but always yield to the ref in these situations. Colin had nobody on him for 30 yards, but that's just the way it goes. Appears they got him for offsides. I am just not sure about that one. It will be, once again, David Luvico with the kick. I could see him trying to play a ball out to the wing for Owen Godfrey, but instead he plays it in the middle and once again just gets swallowed up. Titans starting with their two seniors in midfield, Connor Symington. And, it's a shot from, must have been 40 yards out. Needs a save from Joe Turkley, who's off his line. He's not able to completely gather it. And then it's Owen Godfrey on the rebound, who then Joe Turkley makes the save. And now it's a Veritas corner. Looks like they're going to have Dawson Reeves, the sophomore, put it up here for a nice left-footed corner. We'll see. As he puts it up, appears he might have been going for a shot there. And now it's Joe Turkley with the distribution. Looks like he's going for his left foot, one of his left-footed punts to get up to Quinn. Quinn with a, as I mentioned, a flick. Doesn't quite seem to find a man. However, Colin Flood gets a misplaced pass. And as Connor Symington puts it out to Caleb Momenovich, it looks like Titans might be onto something here. Caleb makes a move, makes another one, and then gets lost in the Veritas back line. Owen Godfrey, the main bright spot for this Veritas team this half, has the ball again, but he soon loses it. Now it's Grant Riddle on the wing. Plays it in a corner. Appears he got a deflection. Now it's over to the Veritas goalkeeper as he plays a short punt. Usually you see the goalkeepers throw it from there, but all right. And then Timothy Park here takes it out on the wing and gets by Caleb Minovich, but not by Patrick Mealy, who boots it back into the Veritas half. It appears this one's going to go out for a deep, deep throw-in. And with Veritas with the throw-in here, I want to introduce my guest, and you might see a little bit of him today, Colin Edsel. Colin, what have you seen on this game so far?
Honestly, I got to say, it's been a pretty close game in the last, I'd say, second quarter into the halftime. Beginning of the game, it was not really close. Trinity pulled out 2 goals off the bat, kind of got caught with their tail between their legs, got a goal scored from the middle of nowhere. But so far, it's been a pretty close game, 2-1, about 10 minutes into the second half. It's just been neck and neck. The ball's been going up and down the field, have balls, corners in, stuff like that, but no goals so far. So we're just going to watch them battle for a little bit here.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. I completely agree with that. Trinity looked absolutely dominant. I was scared it was going to be a blowout today when they scored 2 within 7, I believe. But then after that wonder goal by Veritas from, as I mentioned, 40 yards out, Trinity has not looked nearly as dominant. And after a foul by Quinn there, dangerous position for Veritas. As they put one into the box, Owen Godfrey gets a head on it, but it goes straight out to Grant Riddle. And he's now going to carry this. I figured he'd be looking for that ball to Quinn. Trinity, a lot of times, the one problem that I've seen that they've had is that when they get stuck, as a beautiful header goes on there. It's a beautiful.
Yeah, the ball went straight out there. It was a bit of a fumble there. Not a very good situation for your heart, kind of jump a beat there.
Yeah.
But luckily the defense was able to kick it right out.
Yeah, Davis Geis might have just misjudged that header. Went over him. Joe Turkley had to come off his line to get the save there. And as Colin Flood gets it here, I feel like we're going to be in the same situation. They're going to play it out to Caleb on the wing. Caleb's going to cut in and then get stuck. Oh, never mind. Cuts to the outside. Puts on a shot. Requires a reflection shave there by the Veritas goalkeeper.
Excellent shot by, let's see, that was Caleb?
Yeah, Caleb Minovich on the wing there. I was scared that they were just going to play another doomed ball to Quinn Slayball, which would be my one detractor from the Titans, is that whenever they get stuck, especially in the midfield, they just lob it up there and say Quinn's up there somewhere, and that a lot of times they just lose possession, in my opinion, a little bit meaninglessly.
He goes down, no call from the ref.
We're going to see this Veritas team, especially in the second half, started out very physical. A couple fouls called already as Owen Godfrey plays it back there.
Bit of a triangle game here. They're kind of just running around playing some geometry.
Yeah.
It gets served right back. In the past couple of minutes, it's really just kind of been a ping-pong battle here. Ball's been going back and forth, a bit of a serve, a couple overhead kicks from behind in the defensive row.
Completely agree. But at the end of the day, it's usually, I feel like outside of that one, I guess 2 if you count the one that Joe Turkley spilled, outside of that one chance, the Titans have had the better chances on this game. And I think that they're really they just have to keep up this. As JT Morris just about runs over a guy
call.
there. Yeah.
Refs are really allowing a lot of rough play here. And honestly, I agree with it. This game could come down to just who wants it more. Veritas is down 1. Titans have scored 2 in the beginning, but not really gotten as close, or have gotten close, but they haven't really made anything out of it for the rest of the game.
As Grant Riddle comes off here for, Hayes Shepard. And time to see, I believe, we have already said our facts about Grant that he filled out on the senior day for him. We always appreciate getting a bit bigger insight into our athletes. As Quinn has it down here on the wing. Cuts the man, makes him lose his shoes. Just hits off the post. Hayes was there, just unlucky bounce. Griffin plays it into the middle, but then Veritas, are they going to clear it? No, it just goes back out to, they get out of it there. I thought that was a surefire goal when I saw it.
Yeah.
When I saw Hayes Shepard standing all alone there right at the end.
An excellent shot. Very funny to watch somebody lose their footing after they basically get crossed on the soccer field.
You always are scared for their ankles. But as Griffin wins another ball here in the midfield, Titans have been putting on immense pressure, and I'd be shocked to see them not get a goal. I Colin, what would your prediction for the end of this game be score-wise?
Honestly, it could go both ways. Really, whoever scores the next goal probably is going to have the mentality. You know, if you score a goal, say in the first 5 minutes of the game, sort of like we did, you kind of just get content. You say, hey, we're 2 up already. We don't really have to work that hard. But that's not how this game works. It's a marathon. It isn't just a quick jog. So, really, whoever can just put in enough work, put in enough pressure, like the Titans have been doing, just keep going, keep pushing, and eventually get one more goal, I think that's really going to seal the deal and break the mentality of the other team.
Yeah, I completely agree. The only thing is that this Titans team, they need wins here. They're 2 games away from the end of not the end of the season, the end of their regular season. As Hayes Shepherd gets the ball in here, that's a goal. Oh, but it's offsides. It's just offsides for Hayes. Oh, it looks like he just got it around the keeper, but the ref's going to put up the flag. Hayes looks distraught as he thought he just as we mentioned, broke the mentality of this Veritas team. But
very good time for him just coming into the game.
Oh, yeah. Super sub mentality there. But now it's Veritas ball again, and they send another deep ball up. And once again, it leads to nothing.
Yeah, I've heard the phrase kickball a couple of times.
Yeah.
Kickball defense isn't.
My coach always called it moonball, But I know what you mean, just trying to get it out there, and unless you have an attacker who's miles above the rest of the players, it's not going to work because you're never leaving yourself with the backup plan of what happens if the attacker has to turn around, Normally when you have a good build-up play, the attackers, or in this case, for example, Quinn Slayball or Colin Flood, is going to have 3 or 4 people around them to give them options. But if you play that moonball style that we were talking about earlier, you're gonna be isolated, and that's what the defense wants. It's isolated attackers.
Yeah, I got to say, Veritas with that approach, they haven't really been able to capitalize off of it. They have a couple of times, but they haven't really procured any goals from it. So we're just kind of waiting for that to happen. We did pretty much get a goal from Hayes over here, but it did not count, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But even so, that mentality of, hey, we were right there, we were that close, could just be enough to, get them to push over.
The only scary thing is that sometimes you get that mentality of, we're a goal up, we almost got another one, let's keep going. Or you get the mentality of, we almost got one, look how good we are. How did the ref signal for offsides? What is that? And you just kind of get in your own way, which is the last thing this Titans team and Coach Phillips wants.
Yeah, I agree. With a lot of these games, it really just is the mental of the other team. It could just be, how well the other coach gives a speech at halftime. I know Mr. Phillips is very adamant about his speeches, and, depending on how good it was or what he said to the team, that could really make or break the game. Even so, we're getting a really good pressure from the Titan defense here. For this half, it really has been mostly on Veritas' side of the field.
Yeah, whistles there, Connor Simonton. And this is where I think you put JT Morris up, put a Colin Flood ball in on the corner, and you really see, or if they're going to have JT Morris take this. I wonder if they're going to try to put this on frame.
Sort of a wonder goal that we saw in the beginning of this game.
It might have been from nearly the exact same spot, maybe 2 or 3 yards back.
See if he's trying to one-up him.
But I think the one thing is that this keeper has not shown me enough to where I would say don't do this. And so he plays a chip in, and it's offside. Those sting because those are the ones where you have to know when to time your run to avoid those offsides calls. Like, you have to be able to say, it's a free kick. I know when he's taking this. That's really what it comes down to, is that you have to be able to stop yourself and have the self-control to not do that. Unless I didn't see any particular onside traps from Veritas there. It just looked like Titans went early. And those are the ones that sting, because I believe that was Davis Geis had just an open ball in the middle of the box. And you're just thinking, got a shot, but once again offsides, hurting this Titans team for the first time I've seen.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that Veritas is really just trying to run an offsides trap here. That could be what they're doing, but it really just kind of seems like they're they're anxious. They want to get the ball past their half of the field. They've been playing defense for a long while, and one tip over, one defense off guard, they could make the game a tie and completely change the course of everything.
I completely agree. It looks like Connor Simonton was going to go for a shot on goal there. Instead, he plays it out to Griffin, who instead gets a 1-2 from Hayes. Oh, you could tell he was looking for a shot there. He had the build-up of it. Started leaning down, but instead gets played back to Davis Geist. Plays it out to Patrick Mealy, who hits a Veritas player, and it's going to be out for a Caleb Minovich throw, who gets it in. Connor Simonton, the whistle for a sub. Wondering why he stopped there. Charlie Kemp going back on for Connor Simonton. This time he'll definitely have more time to play. We're about 20 minutes into this half. Trinity season's really been a second half team. I expect them to at least get one more before this game's over, if I'm being perfectly honest. Especially at that end of the game. Mr. Phillips conditions these men so well to the point where especially players like Quinn, Colin, Caleb, they can run for days. And even at the end of this, I guess 80 minutes? Even at the end of this 80 minutes, because I believe we are playing 40-minute halves, there's still going to be, you're going to see them sprinting, making runs, doing everything you would expect them to do in the first 5. And that's really something that's going to be valuable in states when you start having the more elite opponents who can do similar things. You need players who have that ability to stay in all game and make an impact from minute 1 to minute 80 or 90 when they get to those games.
Yeah, Trinity has really been looking to host a state game this year. After the events of last year didn't really have much. It'd be a nice, change of pace.
Yeah, first, for those of you who weren't here in the first half, it'd be the first home game on campus in the past 19 years for this Trinity soccer program. All these players, especially the 7 seniors, want this so badly, and they've put in the work all season to get this far. And I think, honestly, it's happening. I think so long as they don't have a shock defeat against either of these two teams, they're looking nice and good for that 7 or maybe even move up and get into the 6th spot. But I think at this point they've already clinched their state tourney. But I think top 8 is a very doable achievement for this team.
Looks like a clean slide tackle there.
Very nice slide tackle by Charlie Kemp there. And then here's Liam Smith carrying it up the wing. Oh, just not on the same page with Hayes, and they talk it out there. It's going to be a throw-in for Veritas.
It's very interesting to see the change of pace. That was about maybe one of the few times that Veritas had actually had a good run with the ball on Trinity's side of the field. And especially because of how up in front the defense of Trinity was.
My gosh, how was that a no call? Quinn Slaybaugh
bit of a pushover.
Turned his man.
And
oh my gosh, no, you can't let that one in.
And it's good. Straight over Joe in the goal.
That is
and
unfortunate.
that would make it
off
2-2.
His line, and that's just you can't let that happen, man. I mean, I know it's always easier to say it from up here, but those are the goals that you're gonna look
honestly,
back on
it was an amazing goal.
Yeah.
He's sliding. He's on the ground. He looks up. He sees the ball in the net, and all I can think is, "Wow, I hit that. That's crazy."
Yeah.
And
that has to affect.
That's the turning point.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what the team needs. That could be the turning point for them. The mentality. They just made it tied.
Yeah, I'm sure Titans are gonna come out with some more energy here, but at the same time, that's got to be brutal to know. Realistically, you should be up 2-0 here, maybe 2-1, but that has got to be brutal, especially for the keeper. Those are the ones that will sting.
We do get a call here. Looks like JT kind of just used him to get a couple more inches up in the air.
That's the thing is that, you're not calling the ones on Quinn.
Looks like the player's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. They've been allowing a bit of a rough play here, but I think that kind of pushed it over the edge. He kind of just
caught him.
Especially when it's too hands-on, like you saw before about a minute ago, where you basically just get pushed over. That's where the refs start to pay attention here. But now that it's 2-2 and both teams are really wanting it bad, a loss or a tie for Trinity is what I would consider a loss for them. They've been winning the entire game, and now they're coming in fighting really hard. Nice little slide from Liam there. I got to say, Liam's been having a great game. This man comes out every single day, and he's ready to go.
As Timothy gets the ball back here with the pressure from Hayes. Ooh, JT Morse just barely doesn't connect on that. And it appears Veritas at this point. Ooh, not quite sure why that one wasn't offsides, but you can tell they're just going to be putting it on. They're going to be putting him on Joe Tarkley for the rest of this game because we've already gotten 2. We definitely can get more. And we'll see. Charlie Kemp gets one in the midfield and plays it out here. You know, we talked earlier, or I guess me and Hamlin did, but it was really a story of 2 halves within the half, for that first half for Titans. We've seen that, honestly, a lot. Oh, as Quinn puts on a shot there, it just goes over. And that ball, another one for the managers, yeah. And we'll see a goal kick here for Veritas, but as I was saying, a story of 2 halves for the Titans team here. Come out with a lot of intensity, a lot of pressure. Gets 2 goals in the first half, none in the second, as we know is currently 2-2. But then they just kind of let up. And the first time I just thought maybe Veritas was changed their formation. Maybe they thought we can handle this. But then the same thing happens in the second half, and you just have to wonder what's happening in the Titans for that to happen, you know?
It could be the mentality, you know. They may have gotten complacent. They may have said, hey, we're fine. We're up 2-1. We don't really have to work that hard. But Veritas, they want this. They really need to get that point, and they did, and now they're excited about it.
Oh, completely agree. I think the mentality does have something to do with it. However, hopefully, Tommy Titan walking into the stands right here will help out these Titan varsity players. Colin Flood gets the ball here in the corner, and we'll see. Charlie Kemp gets on the top of the 18. Oh, you can tell they're just edging for a shot, but this Veritas essentially putting 11 players behind the ball. And they are just not letting the Titans have any space for a shot. The Titans have started to get into a little bit, as we talked about earlier, a little bit moonball situation. Colin Flood just might put on a shot here. That's what I thought. Sometimes it's just good. It just helps you get in the right headspace. Just put on a shot to say, we can get to your keeper. After that Veritas pretty much, I mean, for the past 4 or 5 minutes before this, they were playing incredibly well. As Liam Smith gets the ball out here again. Just him and Hayes just haven't quite been on the same page so far today. We'll see. It's looking like, oh, he plays one back to Quinn there. Hayes gets the ball, plays out to Colin Flood. This could be a goal.
Wide open shot.
Oh, I thought that almost went through the keeper's arms there. He's been doing the fundamentals.
It's really interesting to see how most of the shots that we've seen from Colin Flood, just, you know, off the bat, just straight rips, have just been straight to the keeper. I don't know if he's doing that intentionally. Maybe it's a mental thing, but, you know, I trust Colin Flood. Interesting call.
Oh, that's probably. I thought that was going to be a yellow. The call there for our viewers who do not watch soccer like a religion. The goalkeeper isn't supposed to hold on to the ball for more than 5 or 6 seconds. And that keeper was just holding it. Probably got up to 15 before the ref called it. I thought that was going to be a yellow on the players for the not giving the Titans the ball. But we'll see. Indirect kick here. You usually have to do something because 11 players on the line is just, you know, very rare you're going to get through this. But you do have 2 incredible takers in Colin Flood and Quinn Slayball. Oh, it's Charlie Kemp's
Looks
down
like
here.
Charlie Kemp, yeah. Hopefully he'll be able to walk it off.
He's been dealing with an injury, but that's his shoe off. That's never good. Hoping it's not an ankle thing. We'll see as he gets a bag of ice. All right, looks like the ref is going to be briefing the players here. As we are about a little over, probably a little under 3/4 of the way through the second half. It's 2-2. Oh,
And
just
a
puts it
beam.
over.
A little
And
too much
that is
excitement there.
unfortunate, and he knows it too. That was Titans' obviously their best goal-scoring opportunity in the half right here. And Quinn just couldn't put it on frame. That's
Basically
gonna
just
sting.
a PK.
I wouldn't say big,
They
still
have a
got the
couple of people inside of that
got
goal.
10 people on the net, so you can't put it anywhere. But yeah, I agree. You kind of have to put that one on frame, even if it goes off a player, still staying in play. But instead, unlucky for Quinn there, as he loses a bit of his composure. I was wondering how good this the Titans student section here gets allowed for their Titans varsity soccer. Liam hucks up a throw there to Quinn. Quinn go down, honestly, a little easy. You can't have a throw in off sides, not. And Colin Flood. Oh!
Vanden just barely misses that ball. He is not happy about that.
Oh, and you can't blame him.
Couple good opportunities here in the
Can't
last
blame 'em.
couple of minutes.
I think a goal is beckoning for the Titans here. They've had a couple absolutely amazing chances, and it looks like it's going to be another goal kick for this Veritas team here. I wonder what they're going to do. What are they calling?
Been a bit of a fiasco here with the refs.
Yeah.
This looks like the sideline ref and the
Ah.
he's arguing a little bit.
Oh, and it's a throw-in. That's a huge game changer right there. Obviously, a goal kick and a throw-in, not the same thing. And Titans are going to try to keep up this pressure. And they are playing a high line. They have one center halfback and one fullback at midfield. Nah, that was looked like he was playing the ball more than the man. And this is gonna get ugly here in a second. I can see it. As Liam wins another challenge and then plays the man. Yeah.
That's a fair call.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
I can see it from the ref's perspective that
oh yeah, no.
Throw off the shoulder.
You can't play the man.
You
have to play the ball.
You got to prioritize the ball there.
Honestly, in my opinion, he's probably getting to that one anyways, but we'll see. No shocker there as David Ludvinko gets the kick again. Stumbles. Oh, never mind. They're actually giving it to Caleb Jordan as he plays it.
Hot straight out of the air.
And that's what you want to see from your keeper as he plays a high ball to Colin Flood, who has trouble with the touch. Goes out for a Veritas throw. Both these teams are playing with huge intensity. Oh, Connor Symington, normally a center mid, goes out for JT Morris, who goes back into his natural position. Center back. Got about 10 minutes here. And this Titans team has been so close to a goal. It's been an excellent game so far. JT Morris immediately making an impact with that header. And I think this Titans team still has to think about those chances that they missed. Especially in the first half, they had so many times where they just had the ball and they just didn't take a shot. It's like Kenan Nemanovic playing right next to his brother. As it goes out for another Veritas throw.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the change of pace here. A couple minutes ago, it was all on Veritas' side of the field, and now it's on Trinity's side of the field.
And the also thing I'm noticing is it's getting a lot faster, a lot more disorganized, a lot less how Trinity Titans usually like to play. And we will see where this goes, but it's JT Morse.
Given a corner. Have we seen a Veritas corner?
Yes, we have. Early in the first half, they had about 4 in a row. We'll hope the Titans can not give up that many in a row.
Trinity has had a great opportunity to score from their corners. First goal was shot from the corner in the first couple of minutes.
We'll see. A good ball there.
And then plucked right into the air
Yeah,
by Joe.
It looks like they were going for goal again on Joe Turkley. Joe Turkley rolls it out to, I believe, yes, Griffin Wright. And then number 7, Owen Godfrey ends up playing a perfect pass to Hayes Shepard. And Griffin gets it again, plays out to Kenan Nemanovic, who tries to get a header out to, but instead ends up with his brother Caleb, who then plays an absolute rocket to Hayes, who gets a beautiful first touch on it, but gets taken by Veritas fullback, and he boots it. Looks like Griffin's going to go for that header and win it. Quinn's got a good chance here. I like his odds in one-on-ones like this, and wins a Titan throw-in. Tries to get one all the way in there Doesn't quite make it. You hear the yelling. Call throwing.
Looks like
Yeah.
it is called for the Titans.
Thought for a second they might even call a penalty because he looked like he grabbed that ball as he was sliding out, but looks like we're going to throw in. Gets it over. Oh, Quinn just doesn't. You can tell he didn't get that where he wanted it. Liam switches fields to Keenum, who gets past one player, puts in a low ball, gets clipped by a Veritas player. Oh, but he wins it back. Oh, and that's going to be a corner. Great play from the freshman right there. You love to see that amount of work rate from Keenum Miminovich. It's going to be another Colin Flood corner. And this one's going, I have to imagine they're going to try to get another lofted ball up for Caleb Miminovich and try to get another headed goal there. But it looks like they might be trying for the same time to run play. Oh, just too high there for Caleb. It stays in the box. Now gets cleared out, but that's going to be Liam Smith, and we know how comfortable he is on the ball. Sends it back out to Colin Flood. I imagine he's going to play in a lofted ball here. Oh, it just doesn't get through the Veritas back line. Uh-oh. Those balls always are dangerous. Patrick Mealy does well. Stays on top of it, lets it go out for a throw. Back up to Colin Flood.
Nice boot.
Oh, Hayes is onside that time. And he saves it. Oh, but that's going to be a throw in just barely. Oh. Oh, never mind.
Silent ref calling that a corner, I believe.
We do not have the best view of that corner down here, up here from the box. But, hey, it's going to be a... This time they're going to have that. Does not look like Colin.
From Colin Flood there.
That's going to be Hayes Shepard taking the corner. I believe he is a sophomore this year. Puts it up. Oh, Caleb.
Nice serve in.
Oh,
does not go
from
in.
our angle, it looks like that went in.
Yeah,
But you can tell from the reactions they did not go in. Got about 5 minutes here, and this,
for a game as
I
close,
find it shocking to believe that this one might end in a 2-2 draw. I would not have guessed that at all. Looked like it was going to be, I'd say 2 or 3 more goals coming in the second half. But Veritas has, while they've given up a lot of chances, like, at the end of the day, they're still 2-2. Caleb dribbles through 4, and that looked like that should have been a foul. Another no call there.
No call on that one.
That
one was on the ball.
Yeah. Patrick Mealy gets it back on that. JT Morris. And then it's out to Caleb here. And here's Hayes. Back out to Liam. And Liam's going to put a ball, I knew it, for Quinn.
Straight to Quinn.
Let's see what Quinn does with this. I bet you he's going to try to cross it in. That might be a little bit too much for... Oh, never mind. Goes perfectly to Colin Flood. Might need one more cross to finish it out here.
That was inside the box.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be a... wasn't expecting it to be a penalty there. It's going to go out for a Titans corner. I think this has got to be one of the last chances Titans get. 3 minutes left here. This is hero time for one of these Titans players. It's going to be a Colin Flood corner kick. Puts a lofted ball on it.
Nice serve in. And it...
Oh, what a goal!
Ricocheted off the side of the post.
I believe that was Keenum Miminovich, sorry, with a header there. Went in off the post. They all thought it was out. And the Titans are exuberant on the senior day for all these players. The fan section is going wild as Veritas tries to get the ball down for maybe one last chance to get an equalizer. The bench is going crazy, and the coaches are telling them, you better not give up a goal in these last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And we talked about these Trinity Titans. They love to leave it late. Usually they give themselves a little bit more time, but not today. Just 2 days after Trinity Titans field hockey's 1-0 win in the, I believe, second to last minute, Titans might have a winner here in the last 5 minutes of the game. Colin, what do you think about that goal?
Honestly, I was shocked myself. I thought that went out. I was as confused as everyone else, but when you see that ricochet in the back of the net off of the goalie's hands, and you say, hey, that's a goal.
Yeah. After the 2 goals that Veritas had here today, I don't think they can have any complaining about the goal luck. But Obviously, there still is a minute 30 plus stoppage to play. And we'll see. JT Morris gets it here. Ref does not signal for the handball. We'll see. Here comes Quinn. Oh, Hayes wanted that ball. These Titans players want it for their seniors. Here comes Colin Flood. Oh, I thought that was going to be one of those patented dribble goals. If Liam gets ahead on that, but goes falls to Veritas Flair. Griffin. Patrick Amelia wins one there and gets fouled. Okay, yeah, I thought the ref wasn't going to signal for one there, and he got tripped.
Bit of a time delay
and
here.
I guarantee you the Titans are going to take their time on this. Free kick is JT Morris, and you can expect an absolute boot here. We have about 30 seconds left. JT Morris, this might put it away if he can get far enough. Puts an absolute rocket on it.
Right to JT.
Goes, sorry, Quinn is out. Yeah.
Right from
Plays
JT.
it out to Hayes. Oh! Beats one man. Plays it back out to Liam Smith. Gets past one man. Keenan Nemenovic, who scored the goal, takes a shot.
Out of the dark.
Oh! Good save from the keeper, and that's exactly what you want. Just another way to waste time. When you're up one, all you want is that clock going away.
Now, the official clock has hit 40 minutes.
I expect at least 2 to 3 minutes of stoppage time here. You know, refs, especially when it's a game that's close and a game that's good, they typically... Oh, that's going to be a yellow.
Straight out of nowhere. That man came in like a football player.
Ooh.
American football,
This
that
ref,
is.
though, doesn't... I mean, he gives the free kick, but I was expecting a yellow. Connor Symington looking to take it here.
Nice serve in. Ball kind of goes in and out. Unclear what the call is there. Seems to be a bit of a scuffle there inside of the...
Yeah, and it looks like a little bit of game-ending drama there between the David Luvinko and Quinn Slayball. They've had a battle all day. And there's not going to be a lot of room. It's got to be maybe a foot off the goal line here. And the ref gets it up. We'll see where this goes. Colin Flood gets a deflection on it. Still time left. JT Morris gets it here.
Chips it up and loses the ball. It's inside of the box. He goes down.
There's no
call
foul
there.
Didn't see it.
Veritas, he's
This
pretty
ref,
desperate.
He's honestly called a very consistent game.
Yeah.
You always appreciate it. He's let them both play, and you always have to love that.
A bit of rough play is always appreciated.
I believe, we might not have heard it, but that was the final
whistle.
That was
it.
And what a win for the Trinity Titans on their senior day. Goal scorers from Caleb Lumenovic, the senior, and Quinn Slayball, the senior. Caleb's and Quinn's both coming from the first 10 minutes. Caleb's off a Colin Flood corner, and Quinn Slayball off his own run. Tricked 2 defenders and then put it into the bottom corner. But the winner goes to Keenan Nemenovic, the freshman, off a header that just barely trickled in. And what a game for these Trinity seniors. They have to be ecstatic. Colin, who's your player of the game?
Honestly, I just enjoyed watching Colin Flood's interesting approach to everything. You know, he was slow, concise, ready, and he was really looking out for his teammates here. But, you know, when you look at the goal scoring, when you look at the entire team, I got to say, it's the seniors today. It's the energy that they bring. You know, Trinity wanted this game. It's their senior night. It's also a really important game. They want that state game at home. And they're on a good track to go get it. 3-2 for this game. It was tied for a little bit, but they came back. They wanted it more, and that's what they got as a result.
And that's what you love to see. You love to see your seniors being leaders. And I'll tell you, if I had to pick 2 players of the game, first one, Quinn Slayball, got the second goal for these Titans, put them up 2, was hugely influential throughout the whole game. And my second player of the game probably has to be Liam Smith. Handled that right side all day for the Titans. Looked crucial. He was an anchor for that Titans defense. played so many great balls, flipped fields, and he just had an amazing game, and he should really look back with pride on this one.
Agreed.
After this game, we will see some semantics. It is the Titans Senior Day, as we mentioned. And I would just like to give a shout-out to all the seniors, them being J.T. Morris, Quinn Slayball, Griffin Wright, Grant Riddle, Patrick Mealy, Connor Symington. And I believe that's all of them. Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to end this on this absolutely beautiful fall day with a 3-2 Titans victory over Veritas. Thank you for joining us.